What is up, scumbags, and welcome to the Week 2 recap. Let's get started with some NFL news. So this past week, Week 2, we had the quarterback massacre. Breeze went down. Ben went down. Cam Newton went down. Rest in peace. Sam Darnold's got mono. Andrew Luck retired before the season even started. It's not looking good for quarterbacks this season. There was a season like this, I think, when Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone, a whole bunch of other QBs went down, and it was just a big bloodbath, and unfortunately it's starting to look that way. The good news is there's a lot of good rookies waiting in the wings to fill in those shoes, so hopefully you picked one up off the waiver wire this week if you needed one. Bella, you gotta sit nice. You gotta sit nice, girl. There you go. Have a treat. Good girl. Also in Week 2, the Bears snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, from the jaws of victory. Complete roller coaster game. Money Mitch making the throw to Allen Robinson with 1 second left on the clock. Set up by roughing the passer penalty. I know. The refs were just complete dog shit in that game. Every single time there was like a holding or roughing the penalty on, or roughing the passer on Leonard Floyd, on that last one by Bradley Chubb. But Bears get the W, and that's all we needed, baby. 1-1. Gonna head up to Washington this week, Monday night, so that should be a fun game to watch. And of course, we have Antonio Brown's circus. Man, that's my boy, but it's tough. It's tough to watch that happen. Can't really say anything to defend him at this point, other than hope the investigation figures itself out. He's obviously going to get suspended for some amount of time, and then we'll see what happens with his career after that. Maybe he ends up on a team before the end of the year, or maybe it's nothing until next year. But I'm still holding him on my bench until Roger Goodell drops the hammer. So we'll see. All right, getting into our weekly segments, we got the big boy boom of the week. This week it was Vishal putting up 163 to Evans 103. Despite my predictions, this was also the biggest blowout of the week. I had Evan winning this one. Vishal had solid 20-point days from Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, and Kenny Golladay. Greg Olsen came back from the dead with a solid 14 points. And Vishal changes his name midweek from Zaya to Bishal, as if he can take any credit for his team. Oh, man. Literally, the only transaction Vishal has on the year is bidding $11 unopposed for Josh Dobbs. So, yeah. Just going to leave that one out there. This week's piss-poor performance of the week goes to Kevin, scoring only 86.62 to 103.58 versus the commissioner himself. Kevin missing his projections by nearly 50 points thanks to the worse than a goose egg from Drew Brees, minus .48, and the goose egg from Deshaun Jackson. Hollywood Brown on the bench goes up for 12.6 after Kevin dropped 55 on him last week. So, got to show some confidence in your boys, man. Deshaun Jackson left him on the bench week 1. He blows up. You put him in the lineup week 2, and he goose eggs. That's just typical Deshaun Jackson stuff there. The booty clencher of the week this week goes to Zaya. Zaya clutching it out 141.78 to 139.58 versus Johnny. Chris Godwin sets the tone early with 22 on Thursday night. He's looking a lot better than Mike Evans, I will say that. Maybe got a new wide receiver 1 there in Tampa Bay. The 30 points from Lamar Jackson was canceled out with 35 from Mahomes, so battle of the QB1s there. And then Zaya clutches it out Monday night on the back of Nick Chubb 17 and Robbie Anderson's 10 points. So the matchup goes all the way until Monday. Sorry, did I say Sunday night? Went all the way until Monday, so it was a big nail-biter. And then that 10 points from Robbie Anderson was repaid by Zaya by swiftly dropping him after the game. So kudos to you there, Zaya. Put me in coach of the week. Bella, you got to sit nice. You're sitting so nice. Here, have another treat. The put me in coach of the week this week goes to Joey. Joey left Scary Terry on the bench for Dede Westbrook. Dede Westbrook put up a solid .94 points, and the 14.7 from Terry McLaurin F1 would have given Joey the win by .54 points He would have won 139.52 to 138.94 if he would have made that move. Instead, Joey is sitting at 0-2, and Mike is cozy at 1-1. The Make It Rain of the week this week also goes to Joey again. Joey dropped $70 on Mason Rudolph, showing astoundingly low confidence in Derek Carr. Mason Rudolph could be nice, but $70 is $70. You know, you can't just throw that around willy-nilly. So, see how that works out for you. But surprising to see somebody who didn't lose a quarterback drop so much money on one. All right, now we got a new segment of the week. I wanted to include this one last week, but obviously it was not applicable because nothing had happened. This new segment is called the Blockbuster Trade of the Week. And this week, of course, it goes to the trade between Zach and myself. I don't know what, nobody's trading in the league lately. It seems like everybody's got PTSD from getting snaked so many times in the past. I don't know what it is. But Zach and I get the deal done. I send over Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Raheem Mostert for handsome Squidward, Jared Goff, and Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake already been slashed and cut onto the waiver wire, so all of you who would like to have him, feel free. He's yours. He's yours. But yeah, Zach getting the quarterbacks he needs after Big Ben goes down. I'm gotta be honest, I really wanted Michael Thomas, but I had to pay up a lot to get him. My quarterback situation not looking too good. Jared Goff is kind of middling. I've never been a real fan, but I'm hoping Cam Newton just comes back soon, man. Hoping he comes back and gets right. Kind of has a slow start like how we had last year. So now getting into the power rankings. Now we've got a tie for first place. Johnny and Zaya both up there at number 1. Johnny sitting at 1-1, Zaya sitting at 2-0, but Johnny's still having the higher points per game and the roster spread, while Zaya has got the 2-0 record carrying him there. Vishal moving up to number 3. George moving up to number 4, and Mikey moving up to number 5. We got a mixture of the 2-0s and the 1-1s here. Vishal and Johnny showing 1-1, but still at the top of the power rankings, which is why we got the power rankings in the first place, guys. Can't always be looking at the standings to see who the best teams are, especially this early in the season. Kevin and Evan dropping down to 6 and 7 respectively. Mark moving up to number 8. JB moving down to number 9. I'm holding consistent at number 10. What can I say? Just sitting coasting until AJ Green comes back. Melvin Gordon ends his holdout. Golden Tate gets back from suspension. Antonio Brown gets signed to a new team. Cam Newton comes back healthy. We're waiting on a lot of things to break right. Let's just say that. Joey moving on up from number 12 to number 11. Big move from Joey and Zach. Taking his usual spot at number 12. Zach always finds a way to take that spot at the bottom of the power rankings, and usually once he's got it, he does not let it go. So we will see. All right, boys, week 2 predictions. So I made all of these predictions before the Thursday night game, and so I'm not going to go through and revise those predictions. Originally, I wanted to record this Thursday night, just ended up not having any time to do it. Had other things going on, dinner plans, so let's get into it. Let's start with my matchup versus JB. What can I say, man? I've got this one in the bag. I got Michael Thomas and Kamara going to show people that they don't need Breeze to be studs. Kyle Allen and Curtis Samuel going to show people that they got a connection. People don't really remember it, but at the end of the season, Kyle Allen was throwing 50-yard bombs to Curtis Samuel for touchdowns, and in preseason they were showing good rapport as well. So I'm pretty confident in that stack there. So I know JB's got the Cowboys' fucking whole entire offense versus Miami, but I think once that matchup is over, if he doesn't have a big lead, then I got it in the bag. So I'm going to predict myself on that one. Oh, by the way, nobody's been keeping record of my predictions. I thought that somebody would keep track and then they could talk shit. It might be nice. Maybe worth going back, taking a look at those videos and starting a record there, seeing how good these predictions actually are. Moving on to Zach versus Kevin. I've got Kevin taking this one with a big bounce back game from Hopkins. Daniel Jones going to impress some people. Z-Nude may have some good QBs now, but Damian Williams is out and Rashad Penny is ass. So I've got Kevin taking that one. Moving on, we got Joey versus Mark. This is the Josh Brown Bowl, the inaugural season in Scumbag League. In the semifinals of the playoffs, it was Joey versus Mark. Joey had the win on Monday night with his kicker, the Giants kicker Josh Brown, putting him up 1 point. And then they go for another field goal, another 50-yarder. And they didn't even need it. They didn't need any more points on the board. They just went for the field goal. Josh Brown misses the kick. Joey loses that point, and Mark wins. Mark goes on to the championship versus Evan, and Mark ends up taking it. If Joey were to make that championship, he would have won there as well. So this is the Josh Brown Bowl. I'm predicting Big Papa to win it again like he did back in 2015, this time on the back of Dak Prescott, Julian Edelman, and Cooper Kupp to drop Joey to a despicable 0-3 start. Make it happen, Big Papa. Next up, we got Zaya versus Mike, battle of the roommates. Zaya's been on a hot streak, starting up 2-0, but I've got Mike winning this one and delivering Zaya his first loss of the season in nail-biting fashion on the back of Le'Veon Bell. That usage is not to be ignored. David Johnson's got a big game coming in him as well. He hasn't really had that big explosion yet, so got Mike winning this one. Bishaw versus Johnny. Johnny's already in midseason form where his team falls off of a cliff due to 0 waiver wire moves, which also happens to be what Vishal does too, except Vishal never really falls off a cliff because he's never on one to begin with. Anyway, I've got Vishal taking this one in decisive fashion. Johnny starting Mohamed Sanu or something like that for the injured Alshon Jeffrey, not looking too good, but I don't know, man. I really want to see Bishal's team crash and burn, but I understand we're going to have to wait a little bit more for him to wreck it on his own accord. And finally, we got the matchup of the week, George versus Evan in the championship rematch. Hard to get excited about either of these two teams, but if you can believe it, this was the best that the Scumbag League had to offer last season, so pretty sad there. But I've got Evan taking his revenge in this one, proving that George's ring last year was a fluke, and Evan coming out on top. All right, boys. This has been your Week 2 recap and Week 3 predictions. I know Bella was highly requested after her cameo appearance last week. So, Bella, why don't you give everybody a goodbye on this one? And we are signing out. Peace.